Hello everyone, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions are used to connect words, phrases, clauses of unequal importance. Yes, you need to understand that of unequal importance. It is definitely different from coordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions are used to say why, where, or when something happens. So we are going to take each subordinating conjunctions that we have one after the other. So that subordinating conjunctions for purpose. So that can be used to talk about the purpose of an action. It is followed by another clause. And one thing about the English language is that so collocates with that. Take note of that, especially anybody listening to me that is preparing for an English related exam. Please, that is one of the questions that they ask. He complained so that he would get a refund. So that is often followed by verbs such as can, could, and would. The next one is in order to. It has similar meaning to so that as well, but this one is followed by a verb. Please take note. For this one, they said it can be followed by modal verbs such as can, could, and would. But in order to is followed by verb in what? In base form. I think the reason for this is because of these two. Because on a normal day, any verb that will follow to most times must be in that base form to form that infinitive. To go, to eat. You don't say to went, right? He called the company in order to complain. You do not say he called the company in order to complain. No, you don't say that. Let's take a look at further examples. She went back to the store in order to show, not in order to showed, in order to show them her receipt. But you say the assistant took the receipt to process the refund. Now, they said in informal speech, yes, sometimes we drop that in order. It's still the same thing. She went to the store to show them her receipt. The assistant took the receipt in order to process the refund or to process the refund. You can say that is correct. She reported the problem so that it could be fixed. If the main verb is in the past tense like reported, so that usually refers to the past. Do you understand? It means that this thing happened in the past. They check everything, but this is present. They check everything so that customers don't receive broken items. Take a look. They said if the main verb is in the present tense, the verb after so that usually refers to present or future. So for this one now, they check everything. That is, see them. They check everything so that in future customers don't receive broken items. But this one, she reported the problem. It's in the past already, so that it could be fixed. So probably they later even fixed it. So what we are saying is that in order to goes with the base form of verb, while so that goes with what? Goes with could, would, should. Do you understand? The modal form. That is how to use so that and in order to. Now, we have talked about subordinating conjunction for purpose. Now, we want to talk about subordinating conjunction for cause and reason. For cause and reason. And because is used to talk about why something happens or the reason behind a decision. Please, purpose is different. That's why when you listen to lesson on adverbial clause of purpose. It's different from adverbial clause of reason. Reason is why something happens, the reason behind it. Why purpose is, okay, the intention. So because it's used for this word, cause and reason. He got a refund. This is the main cause. Because he complained. So this is the reason why he gave why he got the refund, and this because is used to before the reason. Let's look at further examples. It's a noisy town because there are a lot of cars. So why are there a lot of cars? Because why is it a noisy town? Because there are a lot of times. Let me also reiterate this for students preparing for any English related exam, whether WAEC, NECO, UTME, post-UTME. Another aspect that all these things are related, your grammar is related and is useful, is comprehension passage. The main reason why many students do not like comprehension passage is because their understanding, their comprehension, reading and understanding is limited. And why is it limited? Because of the grammar tools that you have. Most times when they want to ask comprehension passage question, they ask questions like this. Although not in this simple form, but that is still the point. Why is it a noisy town? Or why is the town, according to the passage, why is the town noisy? And you go and look for the link in the passage, because there are a lot of cars. So you can see that. My village is quiet because there are only few families there. Why is my village quiet? I decided to move to the country because it's beautiful. So even if you are not preparing for any English related exam, reading, the reason why many people do not like reading books, business books, story books, is because they say, oh, it's boring, or they sleep off. You sleep off because you do not understand and enjoy what you are reading. If you understand and enjoy what you are reading, you are going to love reading. So grammar for fluency is very, very important. Not just cramming rules, but making use of it. The next one is contrast and concession. And the subordinating conjunctions that we use for contrast and concession is although and even though. Like I said, this is still related to adverbial clause, because when we get to adverbial clause of concession, we are still going to talk about this. Although is used to talk about something that is unexpectedly true. Yes, even though means the same thing as although, and it's more common in speech. And one thing is that's not added here is that although collocates with yet, but by the time you have a comma, you do not need to use yet. Although I got up early, I was late to work. Remember, unexpectedly true, because if you get up early, definitely what is expected is that you will get to work early. So that is why we use although. That's why it is contrast and concession. So it could be, although I got up early, yet I was late to work, without comma. Or although I got up early, comma, I was late to work. Even though I got up early, comma, I was late to work. Although I've done it before, I found the run very difficult. You can see unexpectedly true, because since you've done it before, it should be easy. Even though I have 2 cousins, I've never met them. I am going to the beach this evening, even though I can't swim. The next one we want to talk about is when. When is also a subordinating conjunctions. And let me reiterate why they said of unequal importance. We use subordinating conjunctions to join 2 clauses of unequal importance. This is because one most times is an independent clause, while the other is a dependent clause. So they are not equal. English uses when as a conjunction to talk about events or actions in the future that must happen before another action or event take place. These phrases are called subordinating subordinate time clauses and are used with simple present. They said talk about events or action in the future that must happen before one. When it gets dark, when indicates the first event has not yet happening, it will light the fire. So they said to talk about events in the future that must happen. That is, it wouldn't just light fire because it wants to. It has to what? It has to get dark. So this is the future tense. When it gets dark, that must happen before it will light the what? The fire. Let's look at further examples. When I finish my report, I will call you. That is, I won't just call you until I finish what? My report. So this one in blue has to happen first before I call you. I'll put up shelves when the paint dries. When you get home, will you make dinner? Subordinate time clauses can also be used to ask about future events. When you get home, will you make dinner? This one is in the question form. When it stops raining, I will go out. That is, you will only go out when it stops raining. Another subordinating conjunction we'll be talking about is as soon as. As soon as has a similar meaning to when, but it implies that the second event will take place immediately once the first event is complete. For example, I will call you as soon as I leave work. That is, I'll call you immediately when I leave work. I'll call you as soon. That is, this you leaving work has to come what? Has to come first. So that is it. Let's look at 4 common mistakes tenses afterwards. Tenses after time conjunction. Future forms are not used after when and as soon as, even if the clause is referring to the future. Look at this. It is when it gets dark, present, it will light the fire. Not when it will get dark, it will light the fire. No. Even though this when it gets dark is referring to the future, it is incorrect to use the future form. And this makes me to remember that when you read on future tense, you can check our video on future tense on this platform. You will understand that in the usage of future tense, we can use present tense rather. We can use present tense to talk about the future. For example, you can say she comes tomorrow. That's correct. Of course, she will come tomorrow is correct, but saying she comes tomorrow, which is a present tense, but we use that present tense to mean future. Do you understand? So please take note of that. The last one is while. While is used to connect two clauses that are happening at the same time. Take note. I watered the plant while my husband mowed the lawn. You can see I am watching the husband here. I chopped the vegetables while Ted washed the potatoes. I didn't get any sleep while the owl was hooting outside. I read the newspaper while I waited for the kettle to boil. Please take note of that. Let us do these exercises together to test our understanding of subordinating conjunctions. Number 1. I stayed at home, it was raining heavily. Is this so that, because, although, why? While rather. The answer is what? The answer is because. Reason, right? Why did you stay at home? She whispered, no one else could hear her. Is it she whispered because no one else could hear her? She whispered because, although, so that, when? The answer is what? So that, the intention, the purpose. So the answer is so that. There will be a separate video that we test that will be on questions of all the lessons that we've done. So, but let's quickly just do this. He was tired. He kept working until midnight. When he's talking about